Hey, welcome again to the podcast. You can probably see that things look a little bit different compared to how I normally record. And that's why I'm jumping on here because this episode, I actually ran into some tech issues that I wasn't able to see before while I was recording. I uncovered that there was a weird hardware issue on my machine. But so what you're going to notice in the podcast here is that the audio and the video don't match, and there's a couple little garble spots. Um, but I decided to put this episode out anyway because it was just too good not to share. Things like this are always a great reminder to me that things aren't perfect, but we still should push through and produce and face our work and see what happens. Like I said, this episode was just way too good not to share. So go ahead and tune in. Please excuse or give me some grace for the mismatch on the audio and video, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Otherwise, if you catch this and you're just listening to audio, it shouldn't be too bad. But enjoy the episode. I appreciate you giving me some grace on this, and we'll have this fixed on future episodes. Appreciate you. Enjoy the episode, and I'll see you around.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I am your host, Nathan Gibson, and here with me I have the one and only Gabe Arnold. Gabe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. We got to hang out earlier, which is fun. Fridays when we record this is always awesome because it's a lighter day for me, so I'm having an excellent day.
Everybody's always excited about Friday, me included. So, we'll jump right in. We have some awesome stuff going on here at BME, but one of the things we're going to talk about today is Facebook. Very interesting platform, very big, obviously. So we're going to dive right in. So Facebook was once a simple platform used for sharing updates with your friends, but Facebook has really evolved into a complex, marketing-heavy landscape. So any business really should be taking time to learn to successfully navigate the platform to utilize it to its best capabilities. So today we're going to dive into some essential tips on how to make Facebook as beneficial for your business as possible and some tricks to make it resonate with your audience better. Any starting comments on Facebook, Gabe? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would just say something that I hear off and on over the years is, I don't know if my audience is on Facebook, or I don't know if that'll work for me. And I think the intention behind that comment isn't completely off track, because it's really wise to be thoughtful about where you're advertising and where you should grow your business. But
sure.
Facebook is, in some sense, an exception to the rule because there's billions of people on there, and so your market is there. I can guarantee you. And I have marketed everything and anything under the sun on Facebook for clients and
100%.
for stuff that we've done over the years. It's a really great proving ground. You can definitely generate revenue there, from the 7 and 8 figure businesses and earners to other folks. Even if you're selling a simple low ticket product or service, everybody is on Facebook, so it's a great place to start, and it's a really good learning and proving ground for marketing, my experience. And I've been on there for a long time. I don't know how long now. So
Yeah, I was younger when Facebook came out, but even in its first iteration, moving from MySpace being the biggest platform in that day and age to Facebook, it seemed like it almost happened overnight, and Facebook hasn't died off since. Of course, there's other platforms that are really big right now, like Twitter, X, and Instagram, but Facebook has always been, I would say, a staple in the social media realm. So, yeah, let's dive into that. That's a great opening remark. So let's talk about crafting a winning content strategy on Facebook. The first thing I'd like to touch base with you on is being relatable. So in our experience, being authentic, sharing your wins, your challenges, and behind-the-scenes glimpses can really help you connect with your audience. What are some good ways, in your experience, you found to be relatable to either a target audience or another business owner?
yeah, the thing that I always like to remind people of is, as humans, unconsciously the most, and some of us, probably in different parts of our life have more awareness of this consciously, we have incredibly strong, bullshit detectors. We're always going to be able to tell, is this real? And we do that by pattern recognition. And that's a conscious strength of mine and just kind of how my neurodiverse brain works. But all of us and all humans, from as soon as you're kind of aware of the world, from 1, 2, 3 years old, whenever that happens, forward, we're always sitting there and going, okay, does this match previous experience? Where does this relate? Where does this fit in? when it comes to being relatable online, the biggest mistake that I see people make is they only publish their good things or their wins, or in a really ineffective, immature, foolish way, people post things that aren't really real. Like they pose in front of the Lambo, or they edit their screenshots, or do really, really stupid, foolish things there. But again, vast majority of people aren't trying to mislead somebody online. I think vast majority of people you meet are always doing the best they can and trying to do right and just trying to figure it out. That's how I am anyway. But the reality is because Facebook has a ton of superficiality and there's been so much ineffective negative marketing, quote unquote, education, more like brainwashing, we think that to show up and attract attention, we have to put on we have to put on our best face. We have to only show the good things. And in reality, that increases distrust. And then you're going to downplay the results of marketing. You're going to have less effective relationships and connection and community on Facebook, because people are going to start to recognize that pattern. And this comes to a deeper psychological, principle that we have to pay attention to marketing. If you, Nathan, you open up your business and you're posting about all the wins and everything's great and that's all you post about, then all of the people that are watching that, which there's hundreds of people, I don't care how big or small your page is or you're following, there's hundreds of people that see your posts when you post them, may not even technically register as a view, or they may not like or interact, but they're watching. Mm-hmm. And if all they see is you're posting how amazing your life is and how everything is great, Nathan, then they're going to recognize that pattern, and their bullshit detector is going to go, oh, that's, something's off.
Yeah,
and it's because and it kind of settles into this root principle that if that person in your audience, your community online there, and this applies offline too, can't identify with you and go, oh, Nathan's like me at some level, then they're not going to resonate with your content. And so in marketing, a key principle, and this really applies to the conversation, is that we need to make sure that the way that we market is authentic so that somebody can identify themselves in our messaging. They can go, oh, Nathan does have a bad day sometimes in business, or he has challenges, or look, like he took a picture of what his real office looks like. Like I, on occasion, post a picture of my office and it's messy, or it's just a spare bedroom and it's not this $1 million office. It's not this fake Photoshop thing, or I don't go rent, an Airbnb or house to make it look like I'm, in a different environment than I am. And by being real, then people go, oh, Gabe's just like me, and he has an awesome marketing and technology team. They provide incredible leadership. Like they'll pick up on all the good things too, and they'll go, oh, I trust that person. You build a little bit of trust, and so
they seem more human.
Exactly, and because none of us have perfect days, and even in bringing this up, being honest and authentic, I struggle with talking about the challenging parts about business, because I am a very positive person by nature. I want to put positivity out there.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to grow in talking about, like, here's what happened last year when some idiot sued us, even though we delivered all the work exactly in scope, or like, and that kind of sucked, or whatever, or here's a big mistake I made. I did just totally blow it, and I had to walk back through that, because that's how you become a thought leader. That's how you're really human. Show up. Yeah, exactly, and serve your audience by being the real you, not only the good day you or the best look you. That over time turns away and turns off the most aligned customers and prospects and clients that you could 100%. Work with. And it only attracts shallow, superficial people. We get out of life what we put out there. So life and our business life is a reflection of what we're putting out there. And so it's important to just be real.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. I'm as real as I can be. You have encouraged me in my role and in my life to just be me. Everybody sees my nerdy backgrounds that I have, my tattoos and things like that. I'm unapologetically me, and that's what people want on the internet these days. One thing that's super important is you want your audience to connect with your human side before the business. You want them to connect with you on a human, personal level, because people are very fatigued with advertisements these days. People see through the bullshit, like you said. People see through it these days. Everybody's intelligent, especially people who are looking to buy things on the internet. So if you are selling things, you need to connect with people on a personal level before you try and sell them anything. We do that in our day-to-day sales. We make sure we're fully aligned with the people that we work with. And that's important when you're putting your content on Facebook as well. So I couldn't agree more. So the next thing I'd like to talk about and kind of ask you a few things is curating your feed. You can, in certain ways, curate your feed to be content that perfectly resonates with your audience. such as things you should be asking yourself when you're curating feeds targeted to specific people is, what do they celebrate? What do they consider newsworthy? What's important to them? What keeps them up at night even? So along with our previous topic of sharing good things and bad things, what are ways that you think you can connect with people by curating your content to the people you're trying to reach out to?
Yeah, the way that I like to look at this is how I've always looked at technology and marketing and the online world is, how do I bring this back to the real world? Like, how, if I had no technology and I was doing this face to face with somebody, then what would it look like? And so for me, that means, like, in a perfect scenario, in a different scenario, not perfect, I would be able to gather a group of people that are in my online space, in my online world, and I would say, hey, come hang out with me for a couple days. I'm going to show you how I work. I'm going to take you to some of my clients and show you how their business is growing. I'm going to show them the challenges they have. I'm going to just give you a tour of what it's like to be in the BME world, to be in our space and be a partner client. And so that's the mindset of it. And so out of that, I will talk about, like, here's a project we finished and this is the impact it's making on the world. Here's what our processes look like. This is why we have, for most of our accounts, we have project calls every 2 weeks, and we have more as needed as well. So you have a status update, we make decisions, we get feedback. I would just loop them into my world. And at a deeper level, because I know our audience here at BME, they're really people that want to make a positive impact on the world. A lot of them are family people, they have kids, they have partners. So I would also be sharing, like if I took them on this tour of other clients we've worked with, I would say, well, it was really fun that we got this huge result for this company, and an outcome that I'm most proud of. Like, we built the technology, ran the marketing campaign, we generated thousands of leads, they made the money. Like, and that's important. And the reason that's important is because now they're spending more time with their family. They're getting time off. They're taking care of themselves. Like, I would go to the deeper benefit. And so how to kind of operationalize that content strategy is to say, okay, if I was taking this group of people in real life with me around my business and my life and seeing client results and seeing how I am as a person, I would post sometimes about, like, hey, I went out and had dinner with my family, or I went on a walk today, because that's what I do. That would come up, over the course of a week or 2 weeks of my content. I'd also say, here's a big win. We launched this first in the world platform, and it's really cool because my client's mission is to make medical education accessible to everybody. And so he's making this big positive world impact. It's not just about the tech that was awesome. Here's the bigger picture. And so I'd share some wins there. And then I'd also, just give them insight into what I talk about when we have our all team meetings and when I do coaching and training internally. So they understand, like, this is the leadership approach we take. And once I had that roughed out like that, then to make it consistent and operationalized, I would, okay, maybe it's like Sunday, Monday, I'm talking about personal life, family stuff. Maybe, Monday, Tuesday, I'm talking about how we operate and serve our clients in the cadence of meetings and maybe some of the leadership stuff. And then maybe Thursday, Friday, I'm talking about some big successful wins with clients or things we learned when we failed a little bit and how we grew from that, so that they would have, like, this consistent exposure. And then I'd have this simple cadence that I would follow, and then I can just plug in my real life. And sometimes it's going to be videos and a short little update of what I'm doing. Sometimes I'm going to take time to really write out my thoughts and write a long post, so that if somebody does need to hear that or learn that to benefit their business, whether they work with us or not, there's a little more in-depth content. And that's essentially how you are building a real relationship with your online audience, instead of making it completely formulaic and robotic, again, pretending to be something you're not, or only showing just one aspect. That's where I've had to grow a lot. I'm not perfect at this, but it's something we're constantly working on optimizing and growing in. But that's kind of the approach of how I would curate what I'm putting out there. And then there's another side to that too.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that it's really important when you're curating your feed and you're posting regularly as just a regular person or a business owner. Make it a mix of good and bad things in your life and things that are going on in the business realm. As we said earlier, people are really fatigued with just being advertised to. So if every single post you make has the intention of selling something or promoting your products, people are going to dissociate from that because they're going to get tired of seeing the same thing over and over. A good example that I'd like to share is I spoke to a business owner some time ago. I don't remember who it was, but they had a TikTok page for their business and a personal TikTok.
Yeah.
Their personal TikTok, and they posted pretty similarly, pretty regularly, but one was purely business focused, one was purely personal focused. The personal one had double, if not maybe triple, the amount of followers and interaction than the business one, because they realize that it's a real human person and they can connect on more things. Of course, it's okay to promote your business and advertise and things like that. That's how people find your content. But also, people want to see who's behind the scenes. Who Gabe Arnold is behind BME, what he's into. He's into hockey. He likes binge watching TV shows, spending time with his family. I like playing card games and video games. People have interests and hobbies. That's what makes people whole, is what they're into besides work. So I think that's really important, is combining those two things to curate your content. So that's great. So another thing about content I wanted to touch on today is repurposing good content. So a really good strategy that you can implement when you're having these healthy mix of personalized content and business-related content is reimagine your blog posts, your videos, or any other materials that you might have performed well into engaging Facebook formats. So to say that you had a podcast, what a great example, that you had a really good clip from, a really good segment that was just above average. You can take that, clip it down, and put it into a reel on Facebook, a YouTube short, a TikTok. What are some good ways or good strategies for repurposing good content that you've experienced in your role or as a company?
Yeah, there's two sides of that. Definitely, like you said, like sometimes I'll take, this is something that is really helpful when, folks I talk to, entrepreneurs, are like, I don't know how I'll have time to put content out there or whatever. I'll actually say, well, do you have meetings regularly with people? Like, do you have Zoom meetings? Do you have in-person meetings? If you're not recording those, you're crazy. You should get permission and record everything. Because then you're probably going to be explaining part of your process and go, oh, you know what? Everybody asked me about that in the beginning. Why don't I clip that piece out? Or if you're writing an email back to somebody because they asked you about your product or how your service works, like take their name out and, don't share somebody's, personal information out there, but like just readjust a little bit of what you wrote in the email. And I have a friend named Melissa on Facebook. She just got married, so I won't remember her last name now, but every day she just posts about, got an email from this this person that wanted to sell their business, and she helps people buy and sell businesses, and she's like, I got this email, here's what we did, here's how we fixed it. That's her content every day. So she just shares what's going on, and she already has the work there because she had to explain to this person, like, well, these are the steps to do due diligence, whatever that is. And so repurposing content that way is really helpful. The other thing is when you put something out there and you get a lot of engagement and people really like it and it was really helpful to them or educational and inspirational, remember that you can post that again in another few weeks. You can put it out another couple months. You don't have to be creating content always over and over. Once you find things that work, it's okay to repost what you wrote recently. And what I didn't talk about, like in just like the general educational community building content, is every week, put something out there and say, here's what we're doing. Here's our offer. Here's something new that we're up to. Definitely put your sales offers out there, but don't make it an everyday thing because that's not.
Don't run it into the.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are really great ways to kind of repurpose things. And we all have all the content we need. The way that we, in the beginning, when we need to do it ourselves, is the way that we get it out there is we put time in our calendar, we commit to ourselves, and we say, every day at noon or every morning or whenever's a good time for you, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to put something out there. It might suck. It might not work. I might feel uncomfortable. I may not have this skill yet. Yeah, but just be consistent with it. And then ultimately, if you need a team or help, we're here to help you with that. We can do all that for you. But even when we are doing tons of social media and getting great results for our clients, I still say, go on there and post yourself. Put something out there, like be part of it as you have time, because that just, again, makes it really resonate and makes it a really valuable, way to connect.
Yeah, and people will, as we spoke about earlier, touch to the human side of that.
Yeah.
Even if you have a super successful, multi-million-dollar business, put a selfie of yourself on your page.
Yeah.
I'm going on a walk today. I had lunch with this other business owner. Here's a picture of the office. I need to organize it a little bit.
Yeah.
People will resonate with that sort of thing, and that it is super important. If you don't take anything away today, be yourself in your content. Yeah. It is one of the most important things that we teach our clients, that we try and practice ourselves in our day-to-day lives and as a business. Being yourself and focusing on connections with people, you will succeed. You have taught me that as a person, Gabe, and as a mentor, and as a friend, is, when you focus on your relationships and being you will succeed and you will have enjoyment in your life. and likely success in your business. So I think that's super important. And that actually leads into our next topic, which is something that I think you'll have quite a bit to say on, because I think you're a really good example of this, and that is being a thought leader. It is another key angle into posting, especially when you're a business owner. So we're going to talk about being a thought leader. So it's about positioning yourself as a go-to source for valuable information that your target audience needs. And usually that will be a mix of being human, but also providing good, valuable resources from a business perspective. What are some good examples or methods that you use to be a thought leader when it comes to posting on platforms like Facebook?
Yeah, so I would say that the missing link that nobody talks about in thought leadership, because it's a hot topic, it's a good thing to do, there's a ton of value in it, but I've seen plenty of people reach out to me and say, hey Gabe, I can help you become a thought leader and do da-da-da. And it's like,
yeah,
huh? How are you going to do my thought work for me? Like, that's actually something. To be a thought leader, you have to be a thought leader, not pretend to be one. And so if you want to really stand out and serve your audience, then you're going to have to make investment in yourself, which means reading books about, and learning new things in your business and applying them and seeing what works and doesn't work. It's going to be going to events. It's going to be, running new projects. It's going to be growing as a person. Because if you're growing as a person and you're actually thinking through and reflecting and saying what worked in this project, or where do I need to develop more self-awareness, or what's the long-term outcome or trend that I'm seeing, or this strategy that's happening, you actually have to be in it and truly be doing the work to be a thought leader. And so it first always comes down to the personal development work, required to be a thought leader. With that as the foundation, if you're always personally growing and changing and challenging yourself and your team and helping clients grow, then it's about sharing little insights. Like, I put something out yesterday actually where I said, one of the best parts of my job as being an entrepreneur, being the CEO of my company, is that I get to help my team members uncover their unique abilities and discover them, and then make that part of their role. And that's one of the major drivers of our company's growth. And so by sharing that, that's real, authentic, effective thought leadership, by saying, I can put that out there and help people in my community who are entrepreneurs in whatever stage of the journey they're at, remind them or help them first discover, to grow my company, I've got to do sales and marketing, I've got to have my technology, my products, my delivery. But if I really want things to grow, how am I investing in my team? Because that's the highest leverage point we all have as entrepreneurs, is investing in our team and helping them grow so they can make better decisions than we can, so they can help us accomplish the goals and do the work we want to do. And so it takes sitting back and doing self-reflection and journaling and thinking and going, wow, if I was, a year or two earlier, or maybe it's even 5 years earlier, if I look back at myself, what would have been really helpful for me to know from real world experience? And then make a video about that, write a long or short post, share something that will actually move people forward, instead of coming at it from a formulaic or canned perspective of I need to put thought leadership content out there, so I'm going to just do these things, and not really having the level of intention that's required to actually lead people in thinking differently and thinking in an elevated way and thinking in a way that changes their life. That's thought leadership. It's not looking cool or smart. Has nothing to do with thought leadership.
No. And I totally agree with that. That's why when you're to the stage where you can be a thought leader, especially when you're promoting content on Facebook or crafting posts and things like that, you're to the point where you're not copy and pasting from ChatGPT. You're
right.
writing from experience. You're writing from real world scenarios, your actual team that you work with, growing and celebrating things, overcoming challenges. Being a thought leader is one of the most intricate and provoking things you can do on social media. So I would say it's very important to think hard about how you affect people when you're trying to be a thought leader posting content. So I think that's really important.
Yeah.
But a couple more things as we wrap up. Just to summarize kind of what we talked about regarding Facebook, be relatable, be yourself, be human. That is how you will connect with people the best. You can also curate your feed. Learn more about the people you're targeting. Learn more about the people that follow you, and cater to the things that they want to see that relate to your life and your business. And then always repurpose good content. If you have a good clip from a meeting that you have, record your meetings.
Yes.
Record your meetings. But if you have a good clip from one of your meetings, or a great post that you posted 2 months ago that got a bunch of likes, repurpose that. Maybe change a few words, update it, but don't be afraid to reuse content because people have very short attention spans these days, and it's very valuable. Don't let your content go to waste. And then think about being a thought leader. When you're delving into the intricacies of posting, especially as a business owner or even a part of a business, think about how your content affects people and what you can do to motivate people. Show the challenges that you're going through and be a thought leader. It's a really important thing that we may dive into on future episodes because I think it's very important to people these days.
Yeah.
The last section that I'd like to go over, speaking about all these positive things, is some of the wins that we've been experiencing here at BME. I always like to talk about these sorts of things because it shows, the good things that we're doing. Sometimes we'll also go over challenges that we've had, but I have a few that I'd like to get your thoughts on that our team has accomplished within the past few weeks. One is really important is our team is hard at work right now and for the past couple weeks creating Labor Day content, which is coming up super fast. It feels like the year is just flying by, but what would you say the importance is of creating content ahead of time for major holidays or events like that?
Yeah, it's really key if you want to have effective marketing that you have a strategy for the whole year, phase by phase. That's one of the first things we help our clients do, regardless of what kind of level of partnership they have with us. We help them build a strategy. And then the more intentional you are with planning ahead, then you can put something out there that you can test and learn from and get results from. And so we have a process where I think it's like 6-8 weeks ahead of a holiday. The team runs it, they know the exact timeline. We'll reach out to our clients and say, hey, is there something special that's relevant to you that we should promote around the holiday? Some of our clients, it's not relevant. That's okay. Other clients, that are selling food products, things like that, in the e-com space, it's a good idea to be putting out sales and promotions. And so we sit down and say, what's the outcome you want? What would be something relevant that's really authentic to your brand that would be fun to do? And then we'll get videos or pictures from them, or we'll create something for them and put together campaigns. And we started this early this year of really formalizing the process because we've done a lot over the years, but we're a very process-driven company. And so we always like dropping in process for this. And I know we did a Mother's Day sale where we ended up selling a bunch of, I feel like that was where we sold a bunch of hot sauce for one of our clients. There's a couple other clients that we had some products that went out, and by having a simple plan ahead of time, we'll meet with our clients, we connect with them, and we build promotions ahead of the holidays instead of, which I've been in this place too, like, oh man, the holidays next week, I got to jam something together, and clients trying to put it out themselves. Then obviously
you don't want to be in that space.
Yeah, when you're not prepared, you don't get good results. When you prepare, you get good results of learning almost always. You're going to get more sales, you're going to have more engagement, you're going to acquire new customers, new relationships. And so we've been working hard on that. We had some great wins with Mother's Day, 4th of July. We got Labor Day coming up now, so I'm excited to see what come from these. But I'm already seeing great results on what the team's building out for those campaigns.
Yeah, huge wins there, especially prepping for major holidays like that. Of course, focus on the holidays that you feel would be best. Certain holidays resonate with certain business models more, but always plan ahead. It's always good to have a plan of action, especially when you're creating content. And then I'll just go over a couple other wins we have because we like celebrating these things. We drove 50K impressions for one of our clients on their Facebook page in the last 30 days. That is huge, and it goes into what we're talking about today of the opportunities that you can have in Facebook. 50K is a lot in 30 days. Impressions. A lot of what we talk about and teach our clients too is the importance of just brand recognition in Facebook and different social medias. So I just wanted to touch on that. And then another client that we have, we're bringing in new, highly qualified leads from them using these content strategies. So yeah, those are a couple of things that we have. Any comments on the impressions and the new leads for our clients?
Yeah, in today's world, it's easy to hear a number like 50,000, and there's probably two reactions to it. It's like, one, oh, wow, that would be great for my business, or, wow, like, why would that matter? Because, I see videos with millions of views. And the reality is that to be successful in marketing, you need to brand and have impressions and trust in front of the right audience. So those two wins really tie together because when we got these 50,000 impressions, we know that it's the right people, it's their target market. And so they're building trust. And so if you get in front of 1,000 people a week that are the right people that could potentially work for you, that's more than enough for most small businesses. So to really be able to expand that is awesome. And then out of that, we really work with, making sure that the targeting is right, the messaging, the imaging, the whole brand, process and the advertising is congruent. And that's what allows people, our clients, to get really aligned clients, because we want to bring our clients high quality leads, really aligned leads, not a
Right.
huge volume. It's better to have a smaller amount of really aligned clients, because you can, prospects, you can move them right into your customer, your client journey, than it is to just generate thousands of leads and have to filter through a bunch of noise. People can come to you and say, oh, I can get you leads in 7 days. I'm sure they can, but they won't be people that you can work with. The
Right.
reality is we build plans, we do targeting, we do testing, we do deep market research, we walk through a really thorough, methodical process, and then we bring in the right fit, leads, people that actually have potential to work with our clients. And so this client, Lotus Life, that we're talking about, they've walked through that process with us, and they're getting consistent results, and they now have
Absolutely.
a model where they can turn the dial, they can spend more and get more clients. And that's really where we want our folks to be.
Yeah, and when you operate from principles and processes and give things the proper amount of time, they will work out. We've seen it
Yeah.
over the last 18 years, and over the 10,000 businesses we've worked with, we have seen it time and time and time again. Trust your processes, be relatable, be yourself, and things will work out for you. So another thing I wanted to touch on real quick before the end of the episode is our new workshop that we're having on August 21st. Gabe, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, excited about this because I've spent well over a decade testing social media strategies and approaches to build relationships, to connect with the right people, and then ultimately be in a position where I can serve somebody by selling them the right solution. And so we have coming up in this workshop, we're going to walk through how to really have effective, engaged conversations and generate leads from social media. I've gone through many different iterations of, even recently I ended up deleting my Facebook account and restarting for some other kind of back end weird technical issues, but I was able to do that, rebuild my audience, and consistently generate leads on a brand new Facebook account that's not even a year old, all organically. And of course, there's other paid strategies as well that we can get into too potentially. But I love to invite folks to that workshop because it's going to help you learn how to really make social media a positive thing, not only relationally, for branding for your business, but also we're going to show you exactly how to have those really effective sales conversations from social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be holding that on August 21st. If you guys are interested, you can find all the information at bmecrew.tv, and we'll have that in the description as well. That looks like about our time today. This was a very enlightening episode. I really enjoyed the talk about Facebook and being human and connecting with your audience. And I had a blast, Gabe. It was a pleasure to have you on again today.
Yeah, thank you. And as always, we put these out just to really serve our community here online and help folks learn and grow in their business. If you need any help with anything, just head over to businessmarketingengine.com. We'd love to chat with you. If there's something we can really serve you with, we'll share that with you. If we're not a good fit for you, we're also going to be super honest about that and say, you know what, you've got great ideas, or you're a great place here. Let me connect you with somebody else we know, or we're going to find the right fit for you, because we truly enjoy just building new relationships. So appreciate everybody tuning in, and we look forward to seeing everybody on the next episode.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and we will see you all next time.